Hey everyone, it's Angel again. Good morning. I mean, it's morning for me. I've got my coffee and I'm ready to paint. So, I can't find my pencil and my my Copic multi-liner pen. I'm going to be using just this cheap Sharpie. I don't know what size it is, but it's what I had available. And then I'm going to use, this is my very favorite brush to use. It's the only one I ever really use. I feel like I can do anything with this brush. It's a number 12 long round by Princeton. I think just to keep it simple, I'm going to use my Jane Davenport Brights, and I'll open it so you can see that I've added some more. These are Cotman watercolors from a Cotman set that I bought a long time ago. So I don't know what the names of all of these are, but if you have this set and you want to paint along, I've kept it exactly the way it is. And these colors, this is ultramarine, this is lemon yellow, this right here is just like I scraped it in because I only needed a little bit, but this is an M Graham, actually, quinacridone rust. That's just white. I really only ever use it for when I'm trying to quickly do sand or like a flesh color. This is burnt sienna and that is burnt umber. And so since I'm going to be doing a floral, and these have a lot of pinks in here, that's just the most, I think, the easiest choice for me. And I think a lot of people have this, so if you want to paint along with me, you can, and you have this one, then you can use it. Otherwise, just use what you have. If you've got, like, my recommendation would be to get, like if you wanted to start out with watercolor, to get the Cotman. It's like, I think it's called a pocket box or a Skechers box. It comes with 12, and it's got the warm and the cool tone of all the primaries, and then it's got, you know, your 2 neutrals and a white. So that's the one that I would recommend starting out with if you wanted to you know, dip your toe in the pool a little bit, so to speak. Anyway, let's get to the point. Let's get to the point of this video, which is to make a quick little floral. So I don't know if it's going to show up, but I don't know what these flowers are called, but they're really beautiful. And I took a bunch of pictures of them in Tucson when I woke up from my hotel. I think I showed you guys I don't know if it's in here or not. I think it's in my other one. Oh, here it is. So here it is. And so that's basically what I'm going to be painting today, and I hope that you will follow along. Like I said, I don't know where my pencil is. I usually use like a it's funny, I found it in the tool shed where I used to live. It was like a hardware store pencil. Just because it's like it's really easy to hold, and it's kind of like, it helps me stay loose. But I'm just gonna wing it and not use a pencil. You know, that may be a disaster, maybe not, but anyway, so I'm gonna be using this photo. I don't know if it's showing up on camera. Hopefully it is. If not, I mean, actually, no matter what, I will put, I'll put it on my Instagram, and I'll get, I'll see if I can, put like a reference photo at the end of the video. That way you can pause it. You can, you know, skip to the end of the video and like pause it if you want to follow along. But it's like super easy. I mean, I'm just going to break it down into simple shapes, and you'll see how easy it is. And hopefully I'll stay in frame. So yeah. Bear with me, this is the first time I'm gonna be like, you know, painting this way. So like I said, I'm gonna be using a Sharpie, and I'm just gonna break it down into shapes. Hopefully this will show up. But so I'm gonna be painting, I'm gonna draw this, and so like already automatically the way my eye is looking at it is, this is like a C shape, this top petal right here because this is like a tube. And so I'm going to draw in like a sort of a C shape with this like a balloon. Well, let's just, so I'm going to draw this. Let's just do it instead of talking about it. Let's just do it. So I'm going to be drawing this part right here. And so I'm just going to kind of make it into like this weird kind of C shape, and see how it kind of like, it's kind of like crepeyed out and like, you know, nice, and I'm just winging it. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly like the photo, you know, but you just want to kind of, I mean, when you're doing florals, it's really easy to like, you know, fake it out. To me it is, at least. So so that's basically, that's that part. And then for the bottom shape, we're just going to, so we'll do it one at a time, that way it'll be easier. But you could, I mean, we could do the whole thing, but these kind of flowers are actually, for me, it's new for me actually, because I'm used to doing, you know, like your typical daisy with the, you know, like the daisy shape with the like, you know, the middle part circle and then like a bunch of like teardrop shapes. So there we go. I mean, that's basically it. And then I'm just gonna indicate a shadow or like just some like wrinkliness, because this is a really wrinkly looking kind of flower, and there's like a bud on top, so we'll just do a little bud. I don't think I did the bud right. It's kind of like, and that's the cool thing about using a pen, is like I'm forced to get it right the first time, but at the same time it also keeps me loose in this strange way. It really does keep me loose. So I'm just going to indicate some, and when I put in like these little, what are these called, these little folds or like these little lines in the flower, I try to go in like in an outward direction. I mean, florals are still really new to me. I really always loved doing landscapes, so doing a floral, I'm just gonna add a little bit. I want it to look really like almost like a little alien. It looks almost like a jellyfish at this point. And then so there's like these pointy leaves, so I'm just going to indicate a few, and like there's like some, it looks like a group of buds, or like you know, like just pieces of flower. So I'm just going to indicate that. I mean, that's like, what is that? That's nothing. And then behind it there's another flower that is from the sideways point of view. So I think what I want to do is just roughly put it in so it can be in the background. And so, I mean, look, there you go. And then I'm just gonna, oh, I think I maybe did that wrong, but that's okay. It's really easy. I feel like it's really easy with watercolor because you can wing it and you can kind of like fake it, especially if you like a looser style like I do. I mean, some people like you know, like a really tight drawing, or really like a really realistic look, and that's fine. But for me, I personally do not. I don't really even enjoy looking at like super realistic art. It gives me a like a cold feeling, if that makes any sense. So that's, I mean, that's, look, so far it looks weird, right? I mean, in comparison to the drawing itself. So this is what I just drew, this piece right here. In comparison to the drawing, it doesn't look anything like the drawing, but it looks close enough to where when I paint it, you're gonna look at it and think, oh, that's a flower, you know, because your eyes will do the work. So anyway, so let's just, I'm guessing that's the stem that it's resting on. So I'm just going to, even if it's not, I feel like I don't want my flowers to float, so I'm just going to indicate a little like a stem or stick or a branch, because this was a tree actually. So I'm just going to put in some lines to indicate that there are some leaves, and I think I'm going to start painting. So I think I'm ready to start painting now. So so there we go. Hopefully I'm in frame. So yeah, so let's get started. So I just realized that I forgot to tell you guys what kind of paper I'm using. This is a Traveler's Notebook, the brand Traveler's Notebook insert, and it's not even watercolor paper. I've seen people use it for watercolor, and then I never did. I tried it once and I was like, oh, I don't like it. But now that I've gotten used to working on it, I actually like doing watercolor on it. If you don't have a Traveler's Notebook, you know, obviously you have to use watercolor paper, but don't go out. I know, like, if you go like on Facebook, on these Facebook groups, people are gonna say, oh, get the most expensive one, you know, get Arches. And yeah, it is like Arches and Fabriano, like the 100% cotton paper. Yeah, it is. It's wonderful to work with. But I use, when I want to do something kind of better, I use this. This is a B Company watercolor sketchbook, and this is 100% cotton. I got it for less than $20 on Amazon, but like, don't even spend that much if you want to try out these paintings with me, because this is going to be a series. Get one of these. This was $6. It's probably even cheaper than that, because I got this at an art supply store, like a really small mom and pop shop, where everything was expensive. But get this, Strathmore watercolor postcards, and I mean, and I paint on them. This is, like I said, it was $6, you know. Or go to Michael's and get just make sure it says watercolor paper. Get the Strathmore brand. I think the 300 series is really affordable, but honestly, this is all you're gonna need if you want to paint with me in the morning with my coffee and my paintings, my coffee and my watercolor series. Get one of these. Actually, next video I'm gonna paint with this, but for now I'm gonna paint on here. So so let's get started, you know, before I continue talking. Hopefully I'm in frame. So let me I think I'm going to use so I'm going to be using like most of the pinks, or some of the pinks. I'm not even sure which pinks I'm going to be using, but I'm just going to wet them first. I'm really not a big fan of that green, but we're going to make it work. So I don't know if I'm going to be using that purple, but okay. So, like, I don't even know where to begin. I think, let me figure out which colors I want to use. Probably should have done that in the first place. This is what I do. Like, often if you'll see a painting of mine on Instagram or on you know, on here, I always do this. Like, I have to figure out which color I want to use. I like this color, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, when you're painting something, you do not have to get it exactly, you know, you don't have to, you can use like this flower is, you know, beautiful pinks and lavenders. I mean, if you wanted to use brown, or if you wanted to use blue, or it doesn't matter. Like, that's what I love about watercolor. So I usually have two cups of water. I had a well, like a bucket, but I threw it away. It was so old and it was falling apart. But I like to have two different sources of water, one for cleaning, the other one for, you know, to keep it clean for when I need to add water to my palette. So let's just jump in. So I'm going to, let's have some fun and use this pretty like fluorescent color and just lightly put it in. Just gonna, some people like to do one petal at a time, and that totally works if you are going to paint something and you want it to look like, you know, like a photo. But I personally like my colors to kind of run together and you know, look, I don't know, I like my paintings to look kind of weird. I just do. I always have. I should show you guys some of my old work. So I'm just laying in a little bit of the color in this main flower right here. And then, and yeah, some people like to do the background first. I just do what I do. I don't have any rules for the way I paint. I just do whatever I do. I mean, I just do what feels right. So I'm just laying in some more of this, and you see how loose I am. I mean, I'm holding my paintbrush from a further away, like not so close to the brush itself. I like to hold it, that's the way I like to hold it, because that keeps me loose, and it keeps me from you know, it keeps me from worrying too much about, you know, how is it gonna look, what's it gonna look like. So I'm gonna take some more of this yellow and I'm gonna water it down because I want it to be like barely there. And I'm just gonna put it on this bud right here. And I'm constantly wiping my, I use a rag, but I'll just show you guys on this paper towel. I'm constantly wiping my brush because myself personally, I have a very difficult time with controlling the water, and so I have to always be aware of where my water is. So I just want to add a little bit of a blush on this bud. So yeah, so I'm gonna grab some more of this watered down yellow and just lay it in, and add a little bit of the pink to that too. Let's add some yellow up here. Okay, so while all this dries a little bit, I'm going to work on the leaves. And so the problem that I have with this particular palette is the greens are super bright. That's more like, I don't know if you can see that. I think this is like a phthalo green or an intense green, and it just does not look like a color that you see in nature. So I always add something to it. In this case, I added some yellow. So just gonna lay it in, and I am not, like I said, I'm not caring about, right now I'm not caring about proportion or where the shadows are. I'm just laying in the color because I don't care, because I want it to look messy, because that's how I work. So I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to the stem part, just to change the color up a little bit, just to make it different, you know, so that it's obvious that that's different, that's part of the stem. And then I think I'm gonna add some of this pink actually to the green to make it darker. I don't know, let's see. That actually turns it into a purple, which is cool, which will be cool because then we'll use that purple as a shadow. It's kind of like, right? And then I'm gonna put like a little bit of a shadow down here, and add a little bit around here. So maybe even put some in the background. So it's not all the way dry, but it's dry enough for me to feel comfortable. with it. So I think, is this the one that I want to, yeah. So I'm gonna take this color, which is kind of, which actually it looks like my mom's favorite color. My mom loves, like, you know, really dramatic, like maroon, you know, like burgundy-ish colors. Like if you go in your house, everything is that color, or, you know, some variation of that color. So, and it is a beautiful color. So, since it's darker, I'm going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to paint it, you know, lay in the color where I want it to look a little bit darker, like there's some shadow or a fold in the petal. And I'm just doing it loosely. Like I said, there is no rhyme or reason or rule to the way I paint. I just paint how I paint. Some people, you know, they want to get into, like, you know, the elements of art and the what's, like, all these rules, and that's fine. But that's just not the way that I paint. I just paint what I paint, and I paint how I paint it. Because otherwise, I mean, if it feels like work, or like it feels like I have to follow all these rules and I'm not doing it right, then I don't know, what's the point? Like, what is the point? So I'm seeing kind of a shadow here. So I'm gonna put that in, and I do want to get a little bit of this in the middle part. Okay, so I'm happy about what I see. What I kind of want to do is, like, just put in some of this, because it'll indicate, it'll, like, you know, it's fading into the background. It's gonna look like there's a bunch of flowers everywhere. I'm gonna even get some of this pink and put it in. So while that dries, then I'm going to add a little bit more of this green color that we have here. I'm gonna add a little bit of that just to change the color, because it just does not look like a color that you see in nature. And that's kind of like my trick. It's not really a trick, but that's just something that my painting teacher, back when I first started painting, told us to do. If you don't like the way your green comes out of the tube or in the pan, just, you know, add something to it. Doesn't matter what you add to it, just add something to it and it will look a little bit more natural. I want some more of that yellow. So I'm just painting in the background, and I'm still holding it loose, and this is as precise as I'm gonna try to get, only because I don't want to ruin the subject here, which is these flowers. I hope I'm in frame, because I'm using my phone as a reference photo. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, I've got some. It would have been better if I put these pinky colors in after I had painted the green, because then it would have blended. But who cares? Doesn't matter. This is my sketchbook. It's my, you know, my journal. Who cares? Well, I'm the only one who's gonna see it. Well, and you guys, but I'm the only one who's gonna see it when I open it. It's not going on somebody's wall. I mean, maybe it would someday, but not today, because this is my time to, like, learn. Like, that's basically what I do when I do my morning paintings. It's kind of like how I approach it. It's my time to, like, learn and figure things out. I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of that pink. I'm gonna have to darken up some of these colors so that I can, you know, so that the my leaves don't kind of disappear. But I'm gonna add some of this dark color down here. But I mean, so far, I mean, honestly, I could call that done. I mean, I could totally call that done, but I'm not feeling done. So I just want to add a little bit more shadows and kind of make these colors a little bit more lively. I try not to add too many layers to a painting, especially a watercolor, because it will look overworked. And that's another tip I can give you, is don't work too long without taking a break, because when you're on top of a painting, it looks, I don't know, when you're in the middle of doing it, you think like, oh, it doesn't look right. But if you take a break, like take a 15-minute break, you know, go have a cup of coffee, or, you know, just go look out the window. Go watch the news for like 5 minutes and then come back to it, and you'll think like, oh, well, no, it's not too bad, because then you have new eyes looking at it. So anyway, I'm going to take this pretty fluorescent pinky color and just add it. I'm not even looking at the picture anymore. I'm just looking where I want to look and where I want to add these colors, and just kind of lay it in. I just wanted it to look a bit more lively. I felt like I kind of lost some of the vibrancy when it dried. And since this is in the background, I'm going to leave it alone. But I do want to put a little bit, even though in the actual picture this bud is more of a white, like a white pink color, I do want to add some yellow to it, and add a little bit of pink to these other buds. And I want to make another purpley color. Let's see if I can get a purpley color out of this blue, and I mean this green, and my yeah, there we go. And just lay in some shadows. So I'm just putting in some shadows here and there. It doesn't have to be, like, I'm not trying to make anything perfect here. There's no such thing as like a perfect painting. I mean, of course there is, but not in my world. There's no such thing as perfect. You know, perfection is boring anyway. So yeah. And I think that's it. I think I'm done, actually. I'm not liking how dark that is, so I'm gonna see if I can lighten that up with a paper towel. No, I can't. Well, yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Good enough. So yeah, there we go. There's our first coffee and a painting. This was fun. I hope you liked it. I hope you'll come back for more in this series. I mean, you see it's very loose, very pretty, and now I can, if I want to write something down here, probably won't. I don't normally like journal in my journal. I mean, the art is the journaling to me. If I want to write something down, I have like a, you know, a diary that's just for writing. But sometimes I will, like I said, I mean, like I showed you before, sometimes I will, you know, just put in like, you know, something small. Or like I put, you know, I painted these oranges, and I wrote in that, you know, they were really sweet. So yeah, I'm done, and I'm happy with this painting. I like it. Hope you guys like it too. Hope you guys like this this kind of video. I'll try to make them as short as possible. I think I took a little bit longer than I wanted to, but you know, I just wanted to make sure that I got everything right. This is the first time I'm doing a a video like this. So anyway, give me a like and subscribe if you have not already, and you like videos like this. I also do junk journal videos, and we'll be doing a lot more on this channel soon. So hope to see you again. Thank you so much for watching. Go out and do something or make something that brings you joy in your life, that makes you happy and brings you joy in your life. And I will see you again in the very next video. Bye-bye.